You think you know women. You think because you've been with a few, dated a few, maybe even loved one, that you've understood what they want. You haven't. Most men spend their entire lives mistaking female behavior for female truth. They think that the words women say are a reflection of their deepest needs. They think that what women post online, what they confess in moments of vulnerability, or what they put in their dating profiles is the reality of their desire. It's not. Carl Jung once wrote, "Until you make the unconscious conscious, it will direct your life and you will call it fate." He was speaking of the shadow, the hidden side of our personality that we deny, repress, or refuse to acknowledge. But the shadow isn't just in men, it lives in women too. And if you want to truly understand female desire, you must understand her shadow. Most men are trained from birth to take women at face value. We're told they are gentle, nurturing, innocent, morally pure. We're taught that their love is unconditional, their loyalty automatic, their attraction noble. We are told that if we're good men, if we provide, protect, and stay faithful, they will stay by our side. But deep down, many of you already know the truth. That's not how the world works. That's not how female desire works. The female shadow is not polite. It's not safe. It's not built for the fairy tales you've been fed. It is raw. It is primitive. It is ruthless in the way nature itself is ruthless. Jung would tell you, and Nietzsche would agree, that to truly understand someone, you must stop listening only to the part of them that speaks in daylight, and start paying attention to the part that whispers in the dark, the part they hide, not because it's ugly, but because it's dangerous. So, what is in the female shadow, and why does it matter for you as a man? It's where her most primal sexual impulses live. It's where her attraction to strength, dominance, and emotional polarity hides when she tells you she just wants a nice guy. It's where her capacity for betrayal sits quietly until the conditions are right. It's where her hunger for emotional drama and tension burns, even when she claims she just wants peace. Understand this. The shadow doesn't care about her words. It doesn't care about your kindness, your loyalty, your sacrifices. The shadow is loyal to only one master, her unconscious desires. You've seen it happen. You've seen the woman who leaves the man who loved her for the man who barely notices her. You've seen the wife who sacrifices her family for a fleeting thrill with someone more dangerous. You've seen women defend men who hurt them and disrespect men who treated them like queens. This is not because women are evil. It's because the shadow has more influence over desire than the polite, socially acceptable self that walks in daylight. Jung didn't invent this truth. He simply gave it a name. Schopenhauer, long before Jung, wrote about the will to life, the blind force of nature that drives sexual selection. He warned men that women's choices, while often dressed up in moral language, were ultimately driven by the unconscious force of nature, selecting for strength, vitality, and advantage for her offspring. And here is the part most men cannot accept. That same force will override your years of loyalty, your shared memories, and your good man status if she no longer feels that primal pull toward you. The modern dating world has removed the veil that used to hide the female shadow. Social media has amplified it. Dating apps have turned it into a marketplace where primal attraction is accelerated, and men who fail to understand the shadow are now blindsided at a scale humanity has never seen. You cannot control the female shadow. You cannot shame it, argue with it, or negotiate with it. You cannot logic your way into keeping a woman's desire, but you can understand it. And when you understand it, you stop making the fatal mistakes that most men make. You stop over-investing in words instead of actions. You stop assuming her loyalty is guaranteed by your sacrifices. You stop thinking attraction is about being safe instead of being compelling. Jung said, "One does not become enlightened by imagining figures of light, but by making the darkness conscious." This is what shadow work is for a man in the context of women. Making her darkness conscious, not to judge her for it, not to resent her for it, but to see it. To stop living in the illusion that women are creatures of pure virtue who only fall for men who deserve them. Because here is the truth. Desire is not moral, it's chemical, it's ancient, it's animal, and it lives in the shadow. If you want to be a man who keeps a woman's attraction over time, you must stop competing on morality and start competing on polarity. This doesn't mean becoming a bad man. It means becoming a whole man. It means integrating your own shadow, your suppressed aggression, your unapologetic ambition, your raw masculine energy. So, she feels the depth of polarity that only exists between the whole masculine and the whole feminine. Women are drawn to men who make them feel, not just safe, but alive. And alive requires tension, unpredictability, and a man who is unafraid of the dark. Most of you have been taught to fear your own shadow, to hide your assertiveness, your boundaries, your lust, your dominance. You've been told those things are toxic, and in your effort to be good, you've become bland, predictable, harmless. But harmlessness is not virtue. Harmlessness is castration. And no matter how much she says she wants a nice guy, her shadow will always hunger for the man who carries both the capacity for light and the capacity for darkness. The man who has seen his own shadow, made peace with it, and can meet hers without flinching. Nietzsche once said, "Be careful, lest in casting out your demon, you exercise the best thing in you." Most men have already exercised it. They've killed the part of themselves that could inspire raw attraction in a woman. They've buried their own masculinity under layers of compliance and fear. Shadow work, for you, is not about becoming more moral. It's about becoming more real. It's about reclaiming the parts of yourself that society told you to hide, and using them with discipline, not chaos. It's about becoming the man who doesn't just play in the light, but owns the night. Understand this, and you will never again be blindsided by female desire. You will never again stand there, confused and broken, asking yourself how it all went wrong when you did everything right. You will never again confuse the warmth of her comfort with the fire of her attraction. You will know the difference, and you will never again build your life on the fragile foundation of the first, thinking it is the same as the second. You will stop believing the dangerous lie that loyalty is a reward for being the man who deserves it most. Because loyalty, in the realm of the feminine shadow, is not a medal she pins on the chest of the man who sacrificed the most. It is not earned by compliance, nor by years spent, nor by quiet patience. It is given and kept only when she still feels that primal, almost irrational pull toward you. When you understand this, you stop resenting women for their nature. You stop taking betrayal personally. You start seeing clearly. That attraction is not a moral choice, but a force of nature. And like all forces of nature, it does not bend to politeness, comfort, or good intentions. You will begin to see women for what they truly are, not the one-dimensional saints or villains you were taught to imagine, but beings as complex as you are, beautiful in their contradictions, dangerous in their honesty when the mask slips, divine in the way they can inspire you to rise, and destructive in the way they can level you to the ground if you build on illusions. And you will not fear their shadow because you will have faced your own. You will have walked into the part of yourself that you were told to keep locked away, your aggression, your hunger, your will to dominate your own life. And you will have learned to own it without being owned by it. When a woman feels that in you, that steady, unshaken presence of a man who has nothing to hide from himself, she knows. She knows you are not a boy seeking validation, but a man rooted in something deeper than her approval. She knows you are not playing at masculinity, not wearing it like a borrowed suit, but living it in your bones. And in that moment, you will feel the shift. Because desire, at its deepest level, is not about looks, money, or words. It is about energy. It is about presence. It is about the quiet certainty of a man who can meet the feminine, light and dark, without losing himself. Remember Jung's warning: if you do not make the unconscious conscious, it will direct your life, and you will call it fate. If you do not make the female shadow conscious, it will direct her desire, and you will call it betrayal. Do the work, not to control her, but to master yourself. Because only when you have made peace with your own darkness can you walk in the presence of hers without losing yourself. If this spoke to you, take it as a sign. Do not numb yourself with distractions. Do not hide behind surface-level dating advice. Go deeper. Look into the shadow, hers and yours. Because the man who sees clearly will always walk further than the man who dreams blindly. Subscribe and keep walking.